Hiyo everyone, it's me again. I just wanted to make sure my chat or Twitch responds to me. Yes, it does. And we're gonna go back on another tour. Now I have to mute my Twitch, otherwise I'm gonna hear myself. I wasn't able to see or read the chat, but what I'll do is I'll just make the extra attempt to just keeping the headset off and just looking at the chat, basically. One second. There we go, pop out. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so we're going to go back and do Travel City. I'm going to redo some of the videos because, like an idiot, I forgot to switch the audio so you didn't hear any of the audio from the videos, but you heard me talking. And I'm boring, so I know you really don't want to hear me, so let me... So there we go. Now we should have the Oculus Rift as the main audio. So let me... I'll pin the chat window. Before I go into it, I'll go ahead and... There we go. Now I'm going to be able to see the... I'm not going to be able to respond. Well, I can verbally, but I won't be able to... See, now the chat window stays up. So, oh, I got some goodies before I go into the travel. Let's see what my goodies are. You've earned a reward for spending time. I should earn a reward for... Oculus was down the other day. They had a bug. Oh, toy rocket. Another one. Purple space plant. No, thank you. Oh, let's go. Let's go traveling. Sure. Let's just make sure that you're seeing what I want you to see. And hopefully this time you can hear it. So yes, you are seeing what I want you to see. Alright, so let's get going. So one of my fans, hopefully you're watching, the Midnight Raven. Yes, Moji's outside the door. Sorry, Moji, I wasn't talking about you. Let's go traveling the world. I want to redo the Iraqi one because I think that's kind of important. I'm not going to do the Syria one because I didn't realize it was going to be... I should have realized when I saw it as World Vision, but I didn't. Oh, shit. I'm sorry about this, but the controls are so sensitive. They're like really sensitive. Let's do Belgium. Oh, that's Amsterdam. Belgium's up here, I believe. Oh no, it's Amsterdam, Holland. Whoops. I always get them two mixed up.
Hi there, welcome to Amsterdam, the city of bikes, legal marijuana and of course the red light district. But Amsterdam has so much more to offer. My name is Leslie and I will be your guide for today. We are now standing at the Amsterdam Central Station. Every day over 200,000 travelers arrive here to start their trip to Amsterdam. Good one, because from here you can easily travel to all the highlights of the city. Follow me!
Gladly.
This is Dam Square. The name finds its origin in its former function, a dam. Dam Square is the historic heart of the center of Amsterdam. From here you can see the Royal Palace, the big building closest to you. And opposite the palace you see a big needle-shaped statue. That's our national monument where our annual Memorial Day is held. Dam Square is also famous because of its living statues. Can you spot Darth Vader?
Oh yeah, over there I think.
Here we are at the famous Red Light District, probably one of the most well-known and most visited places of Amsterdam. You'll find plenty of sex shops here, but also peep shows, brothels and prostitutes. They sit behind the red-lit windows. And currently there are about 300 of these tiny one-room cabins rented by female prostitutes. And the fact that prostitution is legal and regulated here is pretty unique in the world. These huge ladders of Amsterdam are a popular spot for taking pictures. Behind these ladders, you can see the Rijksmuseum. It's the biggest and most important museum of the Netherlands. It has over 8,000 displayed objects, and some of the highlights are Rembrandt's Night Watch and Vermeer's Milkmaid. The museum is located on Museum Square, where a lot of festivities are held throughout the year. These are the famous canals of Amsterdam. They date from the 17th century and they have played an important role in the defense, transport and water control of the city. And to experience Amsterdam from the water is truly amazing because all along the canals you can see the beautiful houses, so typical for Amsterdam, and the many bikes that we use as our main means of transport. You could easily spend the entire day on the water because Amsterdam has over 100 kilometers of these canals. Along one of these canals you can find the house of Anne Frank. Like many other Jews, she had to hide from the Nazis with her family in the Second World War. Do you see the building with the red shutters? The house of Anne Frank is right next to it.
Red shutters.
Anne Frank became known around the world because of the diary she wrote during this period.
No.
Unfortunately, only her father survived the war. What would a trip to Amsterdam be without a visit to a coffee shop? This is the Bulldog, the first and most famous coffee shop of Amsterdam. And the funny thing about it is that it's located in a former police station where the owners actually spent a lot of nights back in the days when the selling of marijuana was still illegal. And when the station came up for sale in the mid-80s and the selling of marijuana became legal, they bought it since they knew that this policy move was their chance of getting a lot of public attention. Well, and when you're here, you have to try it. Really relaxing after a day of walking around in the city. The Vondelpark is the most popular and biggest park of Amsterdam. The park was opened in 1865 and named after poet and playwright Joost van den Vondel. You can come here to relax in the sun, go to a concert or just do nothing at all. Thanks for visiting our wonderful city. I hope you've enjoyed this virtual reality trip to Amsterdam, but of course, nothing can beat the real thing. So, see you soon. Bye.
Isn't it another stream drone? Oh, they're using a drone. Hey, that's enough of Amsterdam. It's nice, but it's kind of boring there. I mean, after you get past the bikes and the prostitutes, what else is there to do? Smoke weed? Ooh, we can do that here in America. Let's go to Belgium. Boo!
Hello. Welcome to the European Parliament. My name is Pavel, I'm Czech, I work here, and I'm going to take you on a tour through this fascinating institution. Now here we are on the Agora, the square in front of the Parliament. It's named after Simone Weil, a French politician who survived as a child Auschwitz and became a proponent of the European idea. Now the building is named after Altiero Spinelli, an Italian founding
You threw
father,
out the oppressors of the Nazi
European
regime
Union.
just to
And
install
here you
your
see
own.
Station Europe, our information center. Now, come along and I'll take you inside on a tour so you can discover what goes on in there.
Yeah, bullcrap. That's what's going on there.
We are now entering the Hemicycle, which is one of the seats of the European Parliament. All 751 members of the European Parliament meet here, together with members of the Council, the Commission and guest speakers. Let's meet with one of the ushers to find out more about their role in the Hemicycle. You might have seen them before. Ushers are dressed in black tails and wear a silver or a golden chain.
Welcome to the Hemicycle of the European Parliament. My name is Alan, I'm from Denmark, and together with 140 colleagues, we provide assistance to the members of the European Parliament. We are also here for their safety, so we have to check everybody who has access in the chamber. We are here also to maintain order in the chamber, but we have to be discreet and flexible. One of the more difficult parts of our job is to recognize all the names and faces of all the members of the European Parliament, especially after the election, then the new terms are starting and the hundreds of members are changed.
Here we are at the entrance of the Hemicycle, just moments before the start of a plenary session. The members of the European Parliament are arriving for the debate and vote. Over the years, this has been the setting for many historic moments. Let's have a look behind the scenes at the machine room where the communication controls are centralized. The technology for registering and counting the votes is very impressive.
Oh well, we were just down there.
Hi, my name is Lauri. I'm a site manager of the Conference Technicians unit here at the European Parliament. My job is to make sure that the conference and sound facilities are function properly. We work closely together with the interpreters and broadcast services in order to provide the best possible sound for the members of the Parliament. There are 24 languages here at the European Parliament. We also maintain and upgrade the conference facilities in between the meetings. For instance, recently we upgraded over 450 microphones here in the chamber. Here you can see, for instance, a microphone control panel where we activate the microphones. For special events, we provide also some support. For instance, members organizing a concert where they bring a band from their local constituency.
Got the women there.
We are the EP techies.
Standing here, you may wonder how the plenary is live streamed and translated into all 24 official languages in real time. Well, that job belongs to some of the most skilled people working in the European Parliament, the interpreters. An interpreter's job is to provide oral translations from one language to another. Their work should not be confused with translators who provide translations of texts. Let's meet one of the European Parliament's interpreters. This is Simone.
Hi, I'm Simone. I work here in the English booth. I'm an interpreter at the European Parliament. The job of the interpreter is to help the members of the European Parliament and their invited guests to be able to communicate with each other in their own languages. And it's really a fantastic thing to be able to help people from all over Europe, all over the world, to understand each other. It's also the job of the interpreter to make the Parliament more accessible to you. And if you visit the Parliament's website, then you can watch the debates and hear our voices when we interpret at meetings like the plenary session here today. We interpret for a vast range of different people, from presidents to prime ministers, other politicians, representatives from civil society, and of course, EU citizens. My colleagues and I are here to help facilitate European public debate, allow people to express their views and ideas and share them in languages that all Europeans can understand.
You notice she's in the
Interpreters
last
are
room of
here
all of them.
to help you.
The lights are being turned off, so it's time to say goodbye. I hope to see you again very soon, so we can discover more about the European Parliament. In the meantime, follow us on our website and on all the social media platforms.
That's it? That's all they have to say about Brussels? Okay. Let's... I'll do Greece in a minute. I want to get this out of the way. I want to redo Iraq. It's not religious, but it's shocking. But you guys didn't get to hear it. And I think it needs to be heard.
So that's ISIS shooting at it right now.
This is the city of Mosul in Iraq. And that noise you're hearing is gunfire. Right below us is a field hospital, and in the distance are Iraqi military helicopters, scouting the area to draw ISIS fire. The hope is another Iraqi helicopter will be deployed soon to strike exposed ISIS targets. But as of right now, we're sitting ducks.
I just heard a bullet zip by.
We're in Iraq to shadow rapid response medical teams from the Iraqi Federal Police as they treat hundreds of soldiers and civilians living on the front line of war.
The fight is like 2 blocks from here. The front lines, the main front lines.
As you may know, fighting in Mosul broke out in October 2016, when Iraqi forces, as well as Kurdish Peshmerga fighters, allied militias, and a US-led international coalition teamed up to retake this city from the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The battle has been a bloody one. Since the conflict began, it's estimated that there have been several thousand civilian casualties. In addition, while it's true that Iraqi special forces still outnumber ISIS fighters, it's reported that 4,800 Iraqi soldiers have either been injured or killed. To make matters even worse, the conflict has virtually wiped out all formalized medical facilities in Mosul. Instead, medical teams have set up makeshift field hospitals hidden within abandoned houses all over this dense city. As you can see, these hospitals are actually just simple triage centers, equipped with beds, tourniquets, and bandages.
Wow.
Basically the absolute minimum a medic needs to plug up a gunshot or shrapnel wound.
How do they keep it sterilized?
And aside from very limited supplies, medical teams also have to contend with ISIS soldiers and informants pretending to be civilians seeking treatment. The guy in the blindfold is an ISIS informant captured by Iraqi special forces. He just confessed to using carrier pigeons to send coordinates to his comrades, informing them of where field medics were treating civilians and soldiers.
Ever since they caught him, mortars have stopped.
These kind of tactics may seem archaic, but unfortunately, they're pretty successful. As a result, these field medical centers are constantly getting hit by ISIS mortars. But there is a more established hospital away from the epicenter of the conflict. This one, just 20 minutes outside of Mosul, is where patients who need surgery or more involved treatment are transported to. Patients like this little girl, who's probably no older than 6.
Wow.
She was transported here from West Mosul because she suffered a head injury during a mortar strike in the city. This is the reality of civilian casualties here, and it's a pretty difficult scene to witness. Thankfully, the doctors here are quick to check her vitals and provide her with fluid. Although she's in shock, according to them, she's going to be fine. But the ever-present threat of being injured or killed is very real, which is why so many civilians end up here. This is a refugee screening camp just outside of Mosul. Hundreds of thousands of people have poured into camps like this one since the war began. Men are immediately separated from women and children, so they can be screened by Iraqi intelligence officers searching for ISIS militants who've tried to sneak into the camps. But for the most part, these camps are full of regular civilians, simply trying to escape the ravages of war. And many among them owe their lives to the tireless efforts of field medics in Mosul.
Yeah, very powerful movie or video. Alright, let's go to Greece. Beautiful. Very good. Yeah, I did do the Iraqi one before, but I wanted to do it again because you weren't able to hear the audio and I felt it was important.
Your day in Athens, the ancient capital city of Greece and the cradle of democracy, begins on the Areopagus Hill. It was here where the Council of Areopagus, a court-like institution preceding democracy, used to have its seat. The Acropolis is an ancient complex of historical monuments dating back to the era of ancient Greece. The major sites, including Erechtheion, Old Temple of Athena, and the Parthenon, are all gems of ancient Greek architecture. In the Parthenon, a monumental statue of Athena Parthenos used to be located, but throughout history it has been lost. This ancient Greek theatre is still active today, and every now and then houses performances of such artists as Andrea Bocelli. It was built in 161 AD and funded by Herodes Atticus, a wealthy Greek aristocrat. Athens is the perfect blend of remnants of ancient civilization with modernity. Next to such structures as Parthenon and Agora, you can find a modern concert hall or the imposing modern Acropolis Museum. Don't forget to visit a popular shopping and dining area, the Monastiraki Square. The name of this square, which could be translated as Little Monastery, comes from the church situated there. Also, the local flea market is a great opportunity for buying some unique souvenirs. You can find antiques, jewelry, or handmade icon paintings here, but there are also plenty of usual souvenirs to choose from. Sometimes also called the Roman Market, this place used to be the central market of ancient Athens. During Roman times, this square was surrounded by Ionic columns. Do not miss the monumental Gate of Athena Archagetes. The ancient agora served as a public space consisting of numerous monuments and government buildings. Elections and religious ceremonies were held here, as well as various performances and festivities. The Temple of Zeus used to be one of the greatest monuments of its age, as well as the largest temple in Greece. Its construction started as early as the 6th century BC, but it took another 800 years to finish it. This multi-purpose stadium is made entirely of white marble. It hosted the first modern Olympic Games in 1896, and then it was used again for 2004 Summer Olympics. The Athenas Street runs from Omonia Square to Ermo Street. It is the modern center of Athens, full of shops and restaurants. There are stalls with local cheese and fresh fruit and vegetables. Even when you are traveling from one destination to another, you can admire the picturesque Greek streets. Be careful though, as the city streets are usually quite narrow. The mythical place, best known for ruins of the ancient oracle through which Apollo was speaking, is nowadays a vast archaeological site listed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. The best-known oracle was Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi. The excavations found here date back to the Neolithic period, but the majority of sites still standing here come from the 6th century BC. Finish your day in Athens with one last glance of the city from the legendary limestone hill that dominates it. The steep climb is definitely worth the spectacular views.
Nice. Alright, let's see. I kind of want to go somewhere that's not popular. Oh, is there one? Really? Oh yeah, let's go and have a look. That's definitely uncommon. But piano. Everyone does that now. Wow. Where's the beds with the cola bottles? Oh, there's the ship. Oh, hello. Hi. Watch out for that iceberg. Ew, look at that dirty rag on that line there. Oh, it cuts straight through it. Not bad. Let's see if I can skip the video. No one's getting too long. Oh, hello.
Well, if you're seeing me, you're looking on the wrong side of this 360-degree video, because around the other side is a baby albatross chick, one of tens of thousands living on this island. It's a subantarctic island just off the bottom of Chile, very near to Cape Horn. We've been granted special access to come here and see some of the birds that are on this island. I'm with a group of scientists that are traveling around Antarctica to do a number of surveys of different species, one of them being bird life like this beautiful, fluffy albatross chick.
There's so much to see. Oh my god, all of them. Really? Ouch, is it? I'm impressed. Alright, let's go. Let's go somewhere else. I did Australia before. I think I... is that Hawaii? Oh, whoa. No, that's Australia. God, these are so... That's Hawaii. No, not Hawaii. Pearl Harbor. You know, all that stuff. America doesn't need promotion, but I might as well do my home state. I want to do New York, but that isn't my home state, so being true. Let's see what it has to say about Philadelphia. Flipadelphia. Flipadelphia. Come on, load. 2016 host committee. Well, we tried, but it doesn't want to work. Let me make sure you're seeing what I want you to see. Alright, here we go. Good. Everything's still working. I'll try one more time. Nope, doesn't want to work.
Folks who worked here created something that will last and created a legacy. You were looking at 1907, if you were working here, you're working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and every other Sunday doing a 24-hour shift. And doing this under this arduous situations where the death toll was high, the toll on your personal life was high, but you did it to build something, to create a new culture, a new country. And it really made all of our lives possible. But the technology here changes everything. In the early 20th century, this was the Silicon Valley. This is where the great engineers were coming to hone their craft. This is where people were flocking from all over the world to take part in that and to build a better life. It's because of these stories that sites like this exist. These two furnaces operated between 1907 and 1978 and are the only extant examples of pre-World War II blast furnace technology left anywhere in this country. What that means is that they're reflecting the technology that was put in place in the early 20th century that gave rise to the dominance of America as an industrial power. The iron that came from these furnaces became the steel that was made in the Homestead Works, and that steel is what built America and created America's 20th century. And it's important that we save a site like this to tell that story. It defines who we are. And a lot of folks think, well, it's just the story of Carey Furnaces, and it really isn't. That's part of it, but it's the story of the entire country. That's why they're National Historic Landmarks. If it was just based on being this site, that wouldn't have been enough. But it's something that really, truly defines the region, the state, the country, and the world.
If you say so. Alright, one more. For now. I do want to look at Russia, but I want to save them to last. Well, relatively last. Switzerland is amazing now. Oh, Austria. That's no fair. They included Scotland with England. I don't know. Let's do this one. Oh, I don't want to. I guess I should do Egypt since I. Oh no, hang on. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to create any unrest. Since I did Israel, I better do Palestine. I think this is Jordan. There's Wi-Fi there. That's funny. I see they built it into the rock face. That's pretty crazy. There you go. I wanted to see if we can do Malta. Nope. Well, I will do more next time. If you either on Twitch or YouTube want to list the comments of countries that you want to see, and I will look at, leave them in the comments below or something, and we'll come back and visit. So far, my favorite is the Amsterdam one, kind of. No, I don't know. I really like Japan. Japan was really interesting. Mount Iwo Jima looks incredible to look at. Oh well. Thank you very much for joining me on the stream. Adios, amigos. Sayonara.